Most people think building wealth is a complicated secret, reserved only for the experts on Wall Street. They believe you need to be a genius or get lucky to ever achieve financial security. That is completely wrong. The truth is that building wealth is based on a set of simple, unbreakable laws that anyone can follow. It isn't about being the smartest person in the room. It's about being the most disciplined. Today, we are going to break down the 25 most important laws you need to know to go from zero to truly wealthy. Rule 1. Build your safety net first. Before you even think about investing in the stock market or any other asset, you must build a wall around your finances. This wall is called an emergency fund, and it is the most important financial foundation you will ever create. An emergency fund is a stash of cash, typically 3 to 6 months worth of your essential living expenses. This is the money that covers your rent, your food, your utilities, and your basic transportation if you suddenly lose your job or face an unexpected crisis. Think of it like a fire extinguisher in your kitchen. You hope you never have to use it, but you would be an absolute fool not to have one sitting there, ready to go at a moment's notice. Your investments are for building your future, but your emergency fund is for protecting your present. Without this safety net, the first sign of trouble, like a car breakdown or a medical bill, will force you to do the one thing you should never do. You will be forced to sell your investments at the worst possible time, often at a huge loss, just to cover a short-term problem. The emergency fund isn't an investment itself. It is insurance for your investments. It ensures that your long-term wealth-building plan is never derailed by short-term life events. It buys you peace of mind, which is a priceless commodity when it comes to managing money. So, how do you build one? First, calculate your bare-bones monthly expenses, meaning what you absolutely need to survive. Then, multiply that number by 3 to 6 to get your target amount. Open a separate high-yield savings account that is not connected to your daily checking account. This separation is critical because it makes the money harder to access for casual spending. You want a small barrier in place so you don't dip into it for a new pair of shoes or a weekend trip. Then, set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to this emergency savings account every single payday. Even if you can only start with $20 or $50, the key is to start and to make it automatic. Treat this payment like any other bill that must be paid, like your rent or your electricity. Over time, that small, consistent contribution will grow into a powerful financial shield. This shield will give you the confidence to invest for the long term, knowing that you are protected from the chaos of life. Don't skip this step, because it is the bedrock upon which all future wealth is built. Rule 2. The best first investment is in yourself. Everyone is in a rush to find the next hot stock or investment that promises a 10 or 15% return. But they completely overlook the single greatest investment available to them, an investment that can offer a return of 1,000% or more. That investment is you. Your ability to earn an income is your most powerful wealth-building tool, and the fastest way to get rich is to increase the value of that tool. Think of yourself as a company called You Incorporated. Every company has assets, and your biggest asset is your set of skills and your knowledge. A company that doesn't invest in research and development will eventually become obsolete and go out of business. The same is true for you. If you are not actively investing in learning new skills, your earning potential will stagnate. Chasing an 8% return in the stock market with your first $1,000 is a slow and inefficient game. That $1,000, if you get an amazing 8% return, will only earn you $80 in an entire year. Now, imagine you take that same $1,000 and invest it in a course that teaches you a high-demand skill like digital marketing, coding, sales, or graphic design. That new skill could help you land a promotion, start a side business, or get a new job that pays you $10,000 more per year. You just turned $1,000 into $10,000 of extra income, year after year. That is a 1,000% return on your initial investment, and it's a return that the stock market can almost never match, especially not in the beginning. Investing in yourself doesn't have to be expensive or complicated. It starts with identifying a skill that is both in high demand and genuinely interests you. You can start for free by watching videos and reading articles online to see if you actually enjoy it. Once you confirm your interest, you can buy a few highly rated books on the subject for less than $50. When you're ready to get serious, you can enroll in an online course from a reputable platform. The goal is to dedicate just 20 to 30 minutes every single day to learning and practicing this new skill. Slowly, you can start applying what you've learned in the real world through small freelance projects or by taking on new responsibilities at your current job. This real-world application is what turns theoretical knowledge into valuable experience. Don't get so caught up in the world of stocks and bonds that you forget to invest in the engine that powers everything. You are the engine, and the more powerful you make yourself, the faster you will reach your financial goals. Rule 3. Pay off bad debt aggressively. Many people see paying off debt and investing as two separate, competing goals. They wonder if they should put their extra money toward their credit card balance or into their investment account. The answer is almost always simple and mathematical. Paying off high-interest debt is one of the best and safest investments you can possibly make. Imagine you are trying to fill a large bucket with water using a small cup. But at the bottom of the bucket, there's a huge hole, and water is pouring out faster than you can pour it in. In this analogy, the water you're pouring in is the money you are investing. The hole in the bucket is your high-interest debt, and it is draining your wealth faster than your investments can build it. You must plug the hole before you can ever hope to fill the bucket. Not all debt is created equal. We need to distinguish between bad debt and good debt. Bad debt is typically high interest. Consumer debt used to buy things that lose value, like credit card debt, personal loans, and car loans. This is the kind of debt that acts like a cancer on your finances, growing and consuming everything in its path. Good debt, on the other hand, is typically low-interest debt used to purchase assets that can increase in value or generate income, like a mortgage for a house or a loan for a business. While it still needs to be managed, it is not the same emergency that bad debt is. Let's look at the simple math. If you have a credit card with an 18% interest rate, paying it off gives you a guaranteed 18% return on your money. You are earning that 18% by saving yourself from paying it in interest. There is no investment in the stock market that can offer you a guaranteed, risk-free 18% return. It simply does not exist. So, when you have the choice between investing your extra $100 for a potential 10% return or paying down a debt that is costing you 18%, the choice is obvious. Paying off the debt is the smarter financial move every single time. The reason many people fail to do this comes down to psychology. Investing feels exciting and hopeful. It's about growth and future wealth. Paying off debt feels like a chore. It's about cleaning up a past mistake. But you have to ignore these feelings and look at the cold, hard numbers. Make a list of all your debts, from the highest interest rate to the lowest. This is called the debt avalanche method. You will focus all of your extra money on destroying the debt with the highest interest rate first, while making minimum payments on all the others. Once that first debt is gone, you take all the money you were paying towards it and add it to the payment for the next debt on the list. This creates a powerful snowball effect that will help you eliminate your bad debt much faster than you thought possible. You cannot outinvest a high interest rate. Plug the holes in your financial bucket before you try to fill it. Rule 4. Aim for financial freedom, not just riches. When most people think about their financial goals, a single word comes to mind: rich. They dream of having millions of dollars, a mansion, and a fleet of luxury cars. But this goal of getting rich is often so huge and poorly defined that it becomes paralyzing. It feels impossible, so people never even start the journey. There is a much better, more specific, and more achievable goal to aim for first. That goal is financial freedom. Financial freedom is not the same as being rich. Financial freedom is the point at which your passive income, which is the money you earn from your investments without actively working, is greater than your monthly living expenses. It means you are no longer dependent on a job to survive. You have broken the link between your time and your money, which is the ultimate form of liberation. Once you are financially free, you never have to work another hour in a job you don't love for the rest of your life. Getting rich is about having an abundance of money to buy anything you want. Financial freedom is about having an abundance of time to do anything you want. You must achieve freedom first, because it is from that state of freedom that you can most effectively pursue becoming rich. When you're not forced to trade your time for a paycheck just to pay the bills, you unlock your most valuable asset, your own time. You can then invest that time in starting a business, writing a book, creating a product, or pursuing a passion project that has the potential to make you truly wealthy. Let's use a simple example to make this clear. Imagine you live in an expensive city and you own your apartment. You decide to rent out that apartment for $3,000 a month. You then move to a much cheaper country where your total living expenses are only $2,500 a month. The passive income from your apartment now covers all of your expenses, with $500 left over. You are now financially free. You don't have to work. You can spend your days on the beach, learning a new language, or, more importantly, building a new online business that you are passionate about, without the pressure of needing it to succeed immediately. This is the power of aiming for freedom first. It reframes the entire problem of finance from an impossible mountain into a series of small, manageable hills. Your goal is no longer the vague "get rich," but the very specific "generate enough passive income to cover my monthly expenses." You can calculate this number exactly. If your expenses are $3,000 a month, you know you need $36,000 a year in passive income. This clarity makes the goal feel real and attainable. Financial freedom frees you from the necessity of work. Getting rich frees your children and even your grandchildren from the necessity of work. Always free yourself first. The riches will follow. Rule 5, master saving before you master investing. When people first get into finance, they often become obsessed with the world of investing. They spend hundreds of hours researching the perfect portfolio allocation, debating whether to put 70% in stocks or 65%, and trying to find the next big thing. While learning about investing is important, for a beginner, this is a massive misallocation of their time and energy. When you are just starting out with a small amount of money, your savings rate has a monumentally larger impact on your wealth than your investment return. Let's look at the math, because the math does not lie. Imagine you have scraped together $1,000 to invest. You spend a month analyzing different investment options and finally achieve an incredible 10% annual return. At the end of the year, you have earned $100. Now, think about your spending habits. Maybe you go out to dinner with friends once a week and spend $50. By simply deciding not to go out for 2 of those nights, you have just saved $100. You achieved the exact same financial result in 2 weeks with a simple lifestyle choice that you achieved in an entire year with a fantastic investment return. The lesson here is that when your pile of money is small, it's far easier and more effective to make the pile bigger by adding to it than it is to try and make it grow on its own. Your focus should be on widening the gap between what you earn and what you spend. This is why it's so foolish to see someone with $2,000 in their investment account agonizing over a 1% difference in returns, while they are simultaneously spending $150 every month on subscription services they barely use. They are trying to use a thimble to fill a bathtub while ignoring a fire hose of savings potential right next to them. Now, let's flip this scenario. Imagine someone who has $10 million to invest. A 10% return for them is $1 million. They cannot possibly save an extra $1 million in a year just by cutting back on their expenses. For this person, focusing on their investment decisions is absolutely critical because small percentage changes result in massive swings in their wealth. Their time is much better spent managing their portfolio than it is trying to save a few $100s on groceries. Your strategy must match your financial situation. If you are a beginner with less than, say, $50,000 invested, your primary focus should be on 2 things. First, increasing your income, and second, optimizing your spending to save as much as possible. These 2 levers will have a far greater impact on your net worth than any investment decision you can make. Don't overanalyze your first few $1,000s in the market. Put it in a simple, low-cost fund, and then turn your attention to the real driver of wealth at this stage, your savings rate. Rule 6. You have enough to start now. One of the most common and destructive excuses people make is, "I will start investing when I have more income." This sounds logical on the surface, but it's a dangerous trap that keeps people poor for their entire lives. It's the financial equivalent of an overweight person saying, "I will start exercising once I lose 20 pounds. It makes absolutely no sense because the action is the cause of the desired result, not the other way around. Most people fundamentally misunderstand the nature of saving and investing. They believe it's a matter of income, thinking that the secret is to simply earn more money. But if that were true, then everyone who gets a raise would automatically become a better investor. We all know from our own lives that this isn't what happens. Think about your own life. You are almost certainly earning more money today than you were 5 years ago. Are you saving and investing significantly more? For most people, the answer is a resounding no. The reason for this is a phenomenon known as lifestyle inflation. As our income increases, our desires and our spending habits tend to rise right along with it. A bigger paycheck leads to a nicer apartment, a more expensive car, fancier dinners, and more lavish vacations. We get a raise, and instead of saving the difference, we just upgrade our lifestyle, leaving us in the exact same financial position as before, just with more expensive stuff. How much money you earn has very little to do with whether you will invest or not. It is all about managing what you already have and building the right habits. You must accept the fact that regardless of the size of your current income, you probably already make enough money to start investing right now. The problem isn't the size of your paycheck, it's the size of your excuses. You don't need a lot of money to begin. Even $3 a day, which is about $90 a month, is more than enough to get started and let the power of compounding begin its work. If you think you can't find an extra $3 a day, you are simply not looking hard enough. Take an honest look at your daily spending. It could be the daily gourmet coffee, the bottled water you buy when tap water is free, the pack of cigarettes, or the streaming service you haven't used in months. Everyone has financial waste in their budget, and all you need to do is identify one of these small leaks and redirect that money toward your future. Don't tell yourself that you can't possibly cut anything. If your boss walked into your office tomorrow and told you that your salary was being reduced by 5%, what would you do? You would probably complain for a little while, but you wouldn't quit your job. Within a few weeks, you would adjust your spending, adapt to your new income, and you likely wouldn't even feel the difference anymore. So, do that to yourself voluntarily. Pay yourself first by pretending you have a 5% smaller salary and automatically move that money into your investment account. The habit of investing is infinitely more important than the amount you invest in the beginning. Start now with what you have and build the muscle of discipline. Rule 7. Put your money on autopilot. Every single one of us has a battle raging inside our minds. It's the battle between our future self, who wants to be wealthy, secure, and retired on a beach, and our present self, who wants that new gadget, that expensive dinner, and that immediate gratification. If you rely on willpower alone to make your future self win, you are setting yourself up for failure. Willpower is a finite resource that gets depleted throughout the day, which is why we are much more likely to make poor food or financial choices at night after a long, hard day. Manually having to decide to move money from your checking account into your savings or investment account every single paycheck is a painful task. It forces you to actively choose the long-term good over the short-term pleasure, and that is a choice we humans are notoriously bad at making consistently. The solution is to take the decision out of your hands entirely. The key to financial success is not stronger willpower, it is a stronger system. That system is automation. The beauty of automation is that you only have to make the right decision once. You set it up one time, and then for months and years to come, your money silently and automatically moves to where it needs to go, without you having to think about it, feel tempted by it, or exert any willpower at all. You are essentially making a deal with your past self to protect your future self from your present self's predictable weaknesses. The goal of automation is to leave no choice for your future self to make. When faced with too many choices, most people respond in the same way. They freeze and do nothing. As the psychologist Barry Schwartz explained in his book, The Paradox of Choice, the more options we have, the less likely we are to take any action at all because we are terrified of making the wrong choice. By automating your finances, you are simplifying your life and removing the possibility of inaction. So, what should you automate? You should automate your savings by setting up a recurring transfer to your emergency fund. You should automate your investments by setting up a recurring deposit into your brokerage account. You should even automate your bill payments to avoid late fees and protect your credit score. The process is simple. Go into your bank's online portal, find the option for recurring transfers, and set up a transfer for the day after you get paid. This ensures the money is moved before you even have a chance to see it and think about how you could spend it. This is the very essence of the pay yourself first principle. You are treating your future self as the most important bill you have to pay. Do your future self the biggest favor imaginable. Take 30 minutes today to set up these automatic transfers. It is the single most effective action you can take to guarantee your financial progress, and it requires you to be disciplined only once. Let the system do the work for you. Rule 8. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is now. There is a force in the universe of finance that is so powerful it was once allegedly called the eighth wonder of the world by Albert Einstein. That force is compound interest, and it is the secret ingredient that turns small, consistent investments into life-changing wealth. Compound interest is simply the process of earning returns not just on your original investment, but also on the accumulated returns from previous periods. It's a snowball effect where your money starts making money, and then the money your money made starts making its own money. However, this magical force has one critical requirement. It needs time, and a lot of it, to do its work. Delaying your investment journey, even by a few years, can have a devastating impact on your final outcome. Inaction is a far greater risk to your financial future than any market crash. Let's look at a powerful example to illustrate this. Imagine two friends, Susan and Bill. Susan starts investing $100 a month the day she turns 25. She does this consistently for 10 years, until she is 35. At age 35, she stops investing completely and never adds another dollar to her portfolio. She simply lets her money grow for the next 30 years. Her friend Bill knows he should invest but keeps putting it off. He finally starts investing at age 35, the exact moment Susan stops. Just like Susan, he invests $100 a month. But unlike Susan, he invests that amount every single month for 30 years, all the way until he is 65. So, to recap, Susan invested for only 10 years. Bill invested for 30 years. Now for the question, at age 65, who has more money? The answer might shock you, but it is Susan. Even though Bill invested 3 times as much money for 3 times as long, Susan's head start allowed the power of compounding to work its magic for an extra decade. That 10-year advantage was so powerful that it resulted in her having tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands, of dollars more than Bill by retirement, depending on the rate of return. This is the brutal math of procrastination. Every year you wait to invest is a year you are robbing your future self of the explosive growth that happens in the later decades of compounding. The growth is not linear, it is exponential. In the early years, the growth seems slow and almost unnoticeable. But in the final 10 years before retirement, the growth becomes explosive, with your portfolio often earning more in a single year than you contributed over the entire first decade. By waiting, you are chopping off the most powerful part of the growth curve. Time is your single greatest ally in the world of investing. It is more important than the amount of money you invest, and more important than picking the perfect stock. You can't go back in time and start yesterday, but you can start today. Do not be like Bill, who waited until it was too late to fully harness this incredible force. Rule 9. Understand your own risk level. Investing is not just about numbers and charts, it is deeply emotional and psychological. The single biggest factor that will determine your long-term success is not your intelligence, but your ability to manage your own emotions and stick to your plan during turbulent times. A critical part of this is understanding your personal risk tolerance. Risk tolerance is simply the amount of market volatility you can handle without panicking and making a terrible decision. Imagine you have $100,000 invested in the stock market. You wake up one morning, check your account, and see that the market has crashed, and your portfolio is now only worth $70,000. You have lost $30,000 in a single day. How does that make you feel? If your heart starts racing, your palms get sweaty, and your first instinct is to sell everything to stop the bleeding, then you have a low risk tolerance. If your reaction is more like, well, that's not fun, but I'm a long-term investor and this is just a sale on stocks, then you have a high risk tolerance. There is no right or wrong answer here. It's a matter of personality and financial situation. However, it is absolutely crucial that you are honest with yourself about where you fall on this spectrum. Being overly aggressive and taking on more risk than you can emotionally handle is a recipe for disaster. When the market inevitably goes through one of its periodic downturns, you will be the first one to panic and sell at the absolute bottom, locking in your losses. Conversely, being too conservative can also be a problem. If you are young and have decades until retirement, keeping all your money in cash or very safe bonds means you will miss out on the long-term growth of the stock market, and your wealth will be slowly eroded by inflation. Your risk tolerance is influenced by a few key factors. The first is your timeline. The longer you have until you need the money, the more risk you can afford to take because you have more time to recover from any downturns. The second is your financial stability. If you have a stable job, a large emergency fund, and no high-interest debt, you are in a much better position to weather a market storm. The third, and perhaps most important, is your emotional temperament. Some people are just natural worriers, and that's okay. A good investment plan is one that you can actually stick with, not the one that looks best on paper. It's far better to have a conservative portfolio that earns a steady 6% and lets you sleep at night than it is to have an aggressive portfolio that earns 10% but causes you so much anxiety that you sell at the first sign of trouble. The person who sticks with the 6% plan will end up with far more money than the person who abandons the 10% plan. Before you invest, take some time for self-reflection. Read about past market crashes and imagine how you would have reacted. Be honest with yourself. Then, build a diversified portfolio that aligns with your true risk tolerance, not the one you wish you had. Rule 10: don't put all your eggs in one basket. This is one of the oldest and wisest proverbs in the world of finance, and its importance cannot be overstated. The technical term for it is diversification, and it is the closest thing to a free lunch in investing. Diversification simply means spreading your money across many different types of investments instead of concentrating it all in one place. The goal is to ensure that if one of your investments performs poorly, it doesn't sink your entire portfolio. Many beginners make the mistake of going all in on one thing they believe in. They might put all their money into the stock of the company they work for or into the one cryptocurrency they heard about from a friend. This is not investing. It is gambling. You are making a single, concentrated bet, and if you are wrong, you could lose everything. A well-diversified portfolio is like a well-built sports team. You don't just have one star player, you have a mix of offensive players, defensive players, and specialists who all work together. If your star player has a bad game, the rest of the team can pick up the slack and still win. In investing, your assets are your players. You might have stocks, which are your offensive players designed for growth. You might have bonds, which are your defensive players designed for stability. You might also have real estate or international stocks, which are your specialists that behave differently from the rest of the team. By owning a mix of these assets, you smooth out your returns over time. When stocks are doing poorly, bonds often do well, and vice versa. This balance prevents the wild swings that can cause investors to panic. Diversification doesn't just apply to different asset classes, it also applies within those classes. For example, you shouldn't just own one stock, you should own hundreds or even thousands of them. Even the most successful and stable companies can fall on hard times. Think of giants like Nokia or Blockbuster, which were once dominant in their industries and now are either gone or a shadow of their former selves. If all your money was in one of those companies, your financial future would have been destroyed. By spreading your investment across the entire market, you protect yourself from the failure of any single company. The same principle applies to geography. Don't just invest in companies in your own country. The global economy is interconnected, and different regions of the world will grow at different rates. Owning a mix of US stocks, European stocks, and Asian stocks gives you a piece of global growth and protects you if your home country's market goes through a prolonged slump. The easiest way for a beginner to achieve instant diversification is through low-cost index funds or exchange-traded funds, which we will discuss more later. These funds allow you to buy a small piece of thousands of different companies and bonds from all over the world in a single transaction. Remember, the goal of investing is not to hit a home run on a single bet. The goal is to consistently get on base and let the power of compounding win the game for you over the long run. Rule 11. Keep it simple. Index funds are your best friend. If you were to read 100 books on investing written by the world's most respected financial experts, from Warren Buffett to John Bogle, you would find one piece of advice repeated over and over again. For the vast majority of individual investors, the best strategy is to not try to pick individual stocks or time the market. Instead, they should consistently invest in low-cost, well-diversified index funds year after year, regardless of what the market is doing. This advice might seem boring or too simple to be effective, but it is the most proven path to wealth for the average person. So, what exactly is an index fund? An index is just a list of companies that represents a particular segment of the market. For example, the S&P 500 is an index of the 500 largest companies in the United States. An index fund is simply an investment vehicle that buys and holds all the stocks in a particular index. When you buy a share of an S&P 500 index fund, you are not betting on a single company like Apple or Amazon. You are buying a tiny sliver of all 500 of those companies at once. The logic behind this strategy is beautiful in its simplicity. Trying to pick the few companies that will outperform the market over the long term is incredibly difficult, even for professional fund managers with teams of analysts. Study after study has shown that over any 10 or 20-year period, the vast majority of these highly paid professionals fail to beat the performance of a simple, unmanaged index fund. If the experts can't do it consistently, what makes you think you can? By buying an index fund, you are giving up on the dream of picking the next big winner. But you are also guaranteeing that you will capture the overall return of the market itself, which has historically been very good over the long run. I used to have a hard time accepting this simple approach until I heard it explained in a way that finally clicked. When you invest in a broad, global index fund, one that includes thousands of companies from all over the world, you are not just investing in the stock market. You are investing in the future of humanity itself. You are making a simple bet that 30 years from now, humans will be more innovative, more productive, and more prosperous than they are today. Think about the last century. Humanity endured 2 world wars, the Great Depression, a Cold War, a global pandemic, and dozens of smaller recessions and market crashes. Despite all of that turmoil and destruction, the overall trend of human progress and the stock market has been relentlessly upward. Companies will continue to innovate, create new products, solve problems, and generate profits. By owning a piece of all of them, you get to participate in that collective human ingenuity. This perspective transforms investing from a stressful game of trying to outsmart everyone else into a calm, optimistic participation in long-term progress. Index funds are the perfect tool for this. They are low cost because they don't require expensive managers to pick stocks. They are incredibly diversified, which protects you from the failure of any single company. And they are transparent, meaning you always know exactly what you own. For a beginner, there is no better place to start. Don't try to be a hero, just buy the whole market and get on with your life. Rule 12. Understand what you own. In our modern world of one-click investing apps and a constant flood of financial information, it has never been easier to buy an investment. Unfortunately, this ease of access often leads people to buy things they know absolutely nothing about. One of the most fundamental rules of investing, championed by legendary investors like Peter Lynch, is to never invest in any idea you can't explain with a crayon. This doesn't mean you need to be an expert who can read complex financial statements. It simply means you should be able to explain, in a few simple sentences, what the company or asset does and why you think it will be more valuable in the future. If you can't do that, you are not investing, you are speculating. Imagine a friend comes to you, excited about a new company called Quantum Petrodynamics. He tells you it's the future and that everyone is buying it. You ask him what the company does, and he mumbles something about synergistic energy solutions and blockchain. If you were to then go and buy that stock, you would be a fool. You have no idea what you are putting your hard-earned money into. You are just blindly following a tip, which is a surefire way to lose money. This rule is especially important in the age of cryptocurrencies and complex financial products. People pour billions of dollars into assets with fancy names and vague promises, without having even a basic understanding of their purpose or their risks. They buy it simply because the price is going up and they have a fear of missing out. This is pure gambling on momentum, not a sound investment strategy. Before you buy a stock, take 5 minutes to do some basic research. Go to their website and read their About Us page. Can you understand what they sell and how they make money? For example, if you are thinking of buying shares in Coca-Cola, it's very easy to understand. They make and sell beverages to people all over the world. You can then form a simple investment thesis like, I believe that as the global population grows, more people will buy their products, so the company will become more profitable. This simple level of understanding gives you a reason to hold on to the investment when times get tough. If you own a stock you understand and believe in, you are much less likely to panic and sell during a market downturn. But if you own something you don't understand, the first sign of trouble will cause you to doubt your decision and sell, likely at a loss. Your knowledge is your conviction. This principle also applies to index funds. While you don't need to understand every one of the thousands of companies inside it, you should understand the basic concept. You should be able to say, I own this fund because it gives me a diversified piece of the entire global economy, and I believe in long-term human progress. That's it. That simple sentence is enough to ground your investment in a logical thesis. Don't let the ease of trading lure you into the dangerous game of blind speculation. If you can't explain it to a 10-year-old, you shouldn't be putting your money in it. Stick to what you understand, and you will become a much more confident and successful investor. Rule 13. Your time is an investment, too. In the world of finance, we are obsessed with calculating the return on our money. We constantly ask what percentage we will get back on every dollar we invest, but we often forget to calculate the return on a much more precious and finite resource, our time. The most successful people I have studied realize that their time is their most valuable asset, and they are ruthless about protecting it. Most of us, however, don't think this way. We often engage in behavior that makes no economic sense when you factor in the value of our time. You see people standing in line for an hour to get a $2 free ice cream cone. They have effectively valued 1 hour of their life at $2. You see people driving all over town, spending 45 minutes and a gallon of gas to use a coupon that saves them 75 cents on a can of soup. They are literally losing money on the transaction if they were to properly value their time. We all know the saying, time is money, but we rarely apply it to our own lives and especially not to our investment decisions. When you are considering an investment, you must look not only at the money you will invest, but also at the time and mental energy it will require from you. For example, let's say you decide to invest in a highly volatile and speculative asset. The time investment doesn't just end after you click the buy button. You will likely spend hours every week watching the price charts, reading news articles, and stressing out when the price goes down. You will spend countless hours in online forums, arguing with strangers, and worrying about your decision. All of this time and mental energy could have been spent on something far more productive, like learning a new skill, starting a side business, or spending quality time with your family. The free time you spend managing a stressful investment is actually one of the most expensive costs associated with it. This is another reason why simple passive investing strategies like using index funds are so powerful. You set up your automatic contributions, and then you can essentially ignore it for months or even years at a time. It requires almost none of your time or mental energy, freeing you up to focus on the things that truly matter in life. It's a set-it-and-forget-it strategy that pays dividends not just in money, but in time. Before you jump into any investment or money-saving scheme, ask yourself a simple question. Given the potential reward, is this a good use of my time? Is spending 5 hours researching how to save $20 on your phone bill really the best use of those 5 hours? Or could you have used that time to work on a project that could earn you hundreds or thousands of dollars in the future? Start treating your time like the precious, non-renewable resource it is. Protect it fiercely and invest it wisely. A good investment should give you more money and more free time, not take your time away from you. Rule 14. Master your emotions. Fear and greed. The stock market is driven by many complex factors, from corporate earnings to geopolitical events. But on a day-to-day basis, it is driven by two raw, powerful, and primitive human emotions: fear and greed. Mastering your own relationship with these two emotions will be the ultimate determinant of your success as an investor. Greed is the intoxicating feeling that takes over when the market is soaring. Everyone around you seems to be getting rich, and you are gripped by a powerful fear of missing out. This greed pushes you to take on more risk than you should, buying assets at inflated prices, convinced they will go up forever. Fear is the chilling emotion that grips you when the market is crashing. The news headlines are screaming about a recession, your portfolio is bleeding red, and your survival instincts tell you to sell everything and run for safety. The average, unsuccessful investor is a slave to these two emotions. They let greed convince them to buy high, and they let fear convince them to sell low. This is the exact opposite of what you should be doing, and it is a guaranteed recipe for financial failure. The most successful investors in history, like Warren Buffett, have built their fortunes by doing the exact opposite. They are fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. This means they are cautious and skeptical when prices are high, and they are aggressive and opportunistic when prices are low, buying great assets when they are on sale. So, how can you, as a beginner, hope to control these powerful emotions? The key is not to try and eliminate them, because that is impossible. The key is to create a system that prevents them from controlling your decisions. The first and most important part of this system is to have a written investment plan. This plan should outline your financial goals, your time horizon, your risk tolerance, and the specific investments you will use. Having a clear, logical plan that you created during a calm, rational moment gives you something to cling to when the emotional storm hits. When the market is crashing and your fear is screaming at you to sell, you can look at your plan and remind yourself, I made this plan for the long term, and I knew that moments like this would happen. This acts as a powerful anchor in a sea of panic. The second part of the system is automation, which we've already discussed. By automating your investments, you are consistently buying every month, regardless of whether the market is up or down. This forces you to buy more shares when prices are low and fewer shares when prices are high, which is the very essence of smart investing. It takes your emotions completely out of the buying process. Finally, you need to control your information diet. Don't watch the financial news every day, and don't check your portfolio every hour. This constant stream of noise is designed to provoke an emotional reaction. The less you look, the less you will be tempted to tinker with your plan based on short-term market movements. Your emotions are the biggest enemy of your investment returns. Build a fortress of logic and systems to protect your portfolio from them. Rule 15. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. In our modern world, everyone is looking for a shortcut. We want instant results with minimal effort, whether it's in our health, our careers, or our finances. This desire for a magic bullet makes us incredibly vulnerable to scams and unrealistic promises. One of the most important rules you can learn in the world of money is this: if an investment opportunity sounds too good to be true, it is. There is a massive difference between having big dreams for your financial future and letting your greed blind you to reality. Once greed takes over your decision-making process, you start to believe things that are obviously absurd. You want the promise of easy riches to be true so badly that you suspend all critical thinking and ignore all the red flags. You start telling yourself that crazier things have happened, and you use that as an excuse to make a reckless gamble. Legitimate investments operate within the known laws of finance and economics. They are usually built on the slow, steady, and somewhat boring process of companies selling products, generating profits, and reinvesting those profits to grow over time. This process typically results in long-term average returns of around 7 to 10% per year for the stock market as a whole. Anyone who is promising you returns significantly higher than this, especially if they are guaranteed, is almost certainly trying to scam you. These scams often come in a few common forms. It might be a secret trading algorithm that guarantees 30% returns a month. It might be a rare investment in a new technology that is going to change the world, and you can get in on the ground floor. It might be a crypto coin that promises to double in value every week. All of these are traps designed to prey on your greed. If you study the habits of truly successful, long-term investors, you will find that they are incredibly conservative and skeptical people. They would much rather earn a predictable and realistic return over a long period of time than risk their capital on a get-rich-quick scheme. They know that the number one rule of investing is to not lose money, and the fastest way to lose money is to chase unrealistic returns. So, how can you protect yourself? First, adopt a mindset of healthy skepticism. When someone presents you with an investment opportunity, your first question should not be, "How much can I make?" Your first question should be, "How can I lose my money?" Always look for the catch, because there is always a catch. Second, understand that the best investment opportunities are rarely advertised. They don't need to be. The really good deals are usually snapped up by insiders and professionals long before they ever reach the general public. If someone is actively trying to sell you on a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity through a flashy website or a high-pressure phone call, it's a massive red flag. They are trying to sell it to you because no one smarter wanted it. Control your greed. Embrace the slow, boring, and proven path to wealth. There are no shortcuts on the road to financial success, and anyone who tells you otherwise is trying to sell you a map that leads off a cliff. Rule 16. Think in decades, not days. The stock market is a fascinating and often frustrating place. If you look at it on a daily, weekly, or even monthly basis, it appears to be a chaotic and unpredictable roller coaster, driven by random news events and shifting emotions. This short-term view is what causes most investors to fail. They ride the highs and lows, buying and selling based on the latest headlines, and they end up getting whipsawed by the market's volatility, losing money in the process. To be a successful investor, you must learn to completely ignore this short-term noise and adopt a much longer time horizon. You need to stop thinking in days and weeks and start thinking in decades. When you zoom out and look at a chart of the stock market over the past 100 years, a completely different picture emerges. The short-term volatility fades into a series of small blips on a powerful and persistent upward trend. The market has overcome every obstacle imaginable, from world wars to pandemics to financial crises, and has continued to climb higher over the long run. This is because, as we discussed earlier, the stock market is a reflection of human progress, which is a relentlessly positive force over long periods. Your job as a long-term investor is to simply buy a piece of this progress and hold on to it, ignoring the temporary storms along the way. Your holding period should not be measured in months. It should be measured in years and, ideally, decades. This long-term perspective is your single biggest advantage over the professionals on Wall Street. The professional fund managers are often judged on their performance every quarter or even every month. This immense pressure forces them to think short-term, trying to predict the market's next move to avoid falling behind their competitors. You, as an individual investor, have no such pressure. You are not accountable to anyone but your future self. You can afford to be patient and let your investments compound for 20, 30, or even 40 years, which is a luxury that most professionals don't have. To cultivate this long-term mindset, you need to change your habits. First and foremost, stop checking your portfolio every day. It is the single most destructive habit for a long-term investor. All it does is expose you to the meaningless daily noise and tempt you to make an emotional decision. Checking your investments once a quarter, or even once a year, is more than enough. Your goal is to make a good plan and then have the discipline to let it work, without constant tinkering. When you do hear scary news about the market crashing, train yourself to see it as an opportunity, not a threat. A market downturn is simply a sale. It's a chance to buy the same great assets you were already buying, but at a discounted price. This reframes fear into opportunity and helps you stick with your plan. Investing is one of the few areas in life where you are rewarded for inaction. The less you do, the better you will likely perform. Make a good, diversified, low-cost plan. Automate your contributions and then go live your life. Let the decades, not the days, determine your financial destiny. Rule 17, be consistent, not perfect. Many aspiring investors are paralyzed by a desire for perfection. They spend months trying to find the perfect time to invest, waiting for the market to dip so they can buy in at the absolute bottom. They believe that the secret to success lies in making a few brilliant market timing decisions. This pursuit of perfection is not only impossible, but it is also counterproductive. It often leads to endless procrastination, and the investor ends up staying on the sidelines for years, missing out on significant gains while they wait for a perfect opportunity that never comes. The truth is that consistency is infinitely more powerful than perfection. It is far more important to invest a little bit of money every single month without fail than it is to try and time the market perfectly. This strategy of investing a fixed amount of money at regular intervals, regardless of what the market is doing, is called dollar cost averaging. The mechanics of dollar cost averaging are simple but powerful. When you invest the same amount of money each month, say $500, you automatically buy more shares when the price is low and fewer shares when the price is high. For example, if the fund you are buying costs $100 per share, your $500 buys you 5 shares. If the market dips and the price drops to $50 per share, your same $500 now buys you 10 shares. Without any special skill or analysis, this disciplined automatic process forces you to buy more when assets are cheap and less when they are expensive. It removes emotion and guesswork from the equation and ensures that you are consistently accumulating assets over time. Over the long run, this strategy significantly lowers your average cost per share and can lead to better returns than if you had invested a lump sum, especially in a volatile market. But the biggest benefit of dollar cost averaging is not mathematical. It is psychological. It turns market volatility, which is a source of fear for most people, into an advantage. When you are a consistent, automatic investor, you almost start to look forward to market downturns because you know that your next contribution will buy you more shares at a bargain price. This completely changes your relationship with market fear. Instead of wanting to sell when prices are falling, you are calmly and automatically buying. This behavioral advantage is what separates successful investors from unsuccessful ones. The goal is not to be a market genius. The goal is to be a disciplined and unemotional participant. Let go of the idea that you can outsmart the market. No one can consistently predict its short-term movements. Instead, focus on what you can control. You can control how much you save, how consistently you invest, and how you react to market events. Set up an automatic investment plan and commit to it for the long haul. Your consistency will be rewarded far more than any futile attempt at perfection. Time in the market will always beat timing the market. Rule 18: you will be wrong, and that's okay. When we first start investing, we have a natural tendency to believe that every decision we make must be a winner. We research a stock, buy it, and expect it to go up. If it goes down instead, we feel like we have failed. This mindset, the need to be right all the time, can be incredibly damaging to your long-term success and your mental health. The reality of investing, even for the greatest minds in financial history, is that you will be wrong, and you will be wrong often. The key to success is not in having a perfect track record, but in ensuring that your wins are significantly bigger than your losses. A fascinating insight into this comes from the art world. The famous art collector Heinz Berggruen was admired for his incredible eye for valuable art, having owned masterpieces by Picasso and Klee. But the reality was that he didn't just buy a few winning paintings, he bought huge quantities of art, and only a tiny fraction of what he bought turned out to be the masterpieces that made his fortune. This means that most of the time, Berggruen was wrong about the art he was buying. He succeeded because his few correct decisions were so massively profitable that they more than covered the cost of all his mistakes. This same principle, often called the 80-20 rule, or the Pareto principle, applies directly to investing and entrepreneurship. Most seasoned venture capitalists expect that roughly 80% of the startups they invest in will fail or return very little money. They make their fortune from the 20%, or even just the 10%, of companies that become huge successes. These massive wins pay for all the losers and generate all the profit. Even Warren Buffett, arguably the greatest investor of all time, has admitted that in his lifetime of owning hundreds of different stocks, the vast majority of his wealth came from only about 10 of them. He has made countless mistakes and invested in many businesses that went nowhere. He is a billionaire not because he is always right, but because when he is right, he is very, very right. So, what does this mean for you as a beginner? First, you must accept that not all of your investment decisions will be successful, and that is completely normal and okay. If you are picking individual stocks, some of them will go down. Even if you are using diversified index funds, some of the companies within those funds will go bankrupt. That is a natural part of a healthy, competitive market. Second, this is another powerful argument for diversification. By owning a broad basket of assets, you increase your chances of having one of those big winners in your portfolio. You are protecting yourself from the downside of being wrong about any single investment, while still giving yourself the upside potential from the market's big winners. You don't need to find the needle in the haystack. You can just buy the whole haystack. Let go of the need for a perfect record. Embrace the fact that investing is a game of probabilities, not certainties. Your goal is not to avoid making mistakes, but to build a portfolio that is resilient enough to survive them and still thrive in the long run. Rule 19. Small fees cause big problems. In the world of investing, there is perhaps no greater deception than the idea that a small 1% fee is insignificant. The financial industry has spent billions of dollars convincing investors that paying just 1% is a small price for their expert management. This is one of the most destructive lies in finance, and understanding its true impact can save you hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars over your lifetime. A 1% fee does not mean you are paying 1% of your profits. It means you are paying 1% of your total assets year after year after year, regardless of how your investments perform. Over time, the corrosive effect of this seemingly small fee is catastrophic. Let's use a clear example to see how this works. Imagine you and your twin sister, Sarah, both receive a gift of $100,000 on your 30th birthday. You both decide to invest this money for retirement in 30 years. Sarah does her research and finds a low-cost index fund that has a management fee of just 0.1%. You, on the other hand, are convinced by a charming financial advisor to invest in his actively managed mutual fund, which charges a fee of 1.1%. It's only a 1% difference, so you think it's no big deal. Let's assume both funds earn the same average market return of 8% per year before fees. Now, let's fast forward 30 years to your 60th birthday and see how that tiny 1% difference has played out. Sarah, with her low-cost fund, will have a portfolio worth approximately $950,000. You, with your higher fee fund, will have a portfolio worth only about $730,000. That tiny, insignificant 1% difference in fees has cost you $220,000. You have lost nearly a quarter of your potential wealth to fees, all while taking the exact same market risk as your sister. The advisor didn't provide you with $220,000 of extra value. He simply siphoned it away from your future. The reason the impact is so devastating is because of compound interest. The fee doesn't just reduce your principal, it reduces the earnings that your principal could have generated in the future. You are not just losing the 1%, you are losing all the future growth that 1% would have created for decades to come. This is why you must become a fierce and vigilant defender of your portfolio against high fees. When you are choosing your investments, the expense ratio, which is the annual fee, should be one of the very first things you look at. For broad market index funds, you should be looking for expense ratios well below 0.1%. Anything approaching 1% for a simple stock or bond fund is a form of financial malpractice. Don't let the financial industry's clever marketing fool you. Small fees are the termites of the investing world. They are silent, they work slowly, but over time, they can completely destroy the foundation of your financial house. Rule 20. Don't be fooled by averages. In our data-driven world, we are constantly bombarded with statistics, and one of the most common and most misleading is the average. Averages can be useful, but they can also hide the truth and lead to very poor decisions, especially in the world of finance. The problem with a simple average is that it can be dramatically skewed by outliers, which are extremely high or low values in a data set. A single outlier can pull the entire average up or down, giving you a completely distorted picture of reality. Here is a classic example to illustrate the point. Imagine you are in a room with two of your best friends. You earn $50,000 a year. One friend earns $60,000 and the other earns $70,000. The average salary in the room is $60,000, which is a pretty fair and representative number for the group. Now, imagine one of your friends leaves the room and a famous billionaire walks in. Suddenly, the average salary in the room is now over $1 billion. Does this mean that you are a billionaire? Of course not. The average has become a meaningless and deceptive number because of one massive outlier. This same billionaire in the room effect happens all the time in investing. You might hear a report that the average return of a certain type of investment, like venture capital or a specific hedge fund strategy, was 30% last year. This sounds incredibly attractive, but that average could be the result of 1,000 investments losing money and just 1 or 2 investments having a massive 1,000-fold return. If you had invested in that strategy, the overwhelming probability is that you would have picked one of the losers, not the one spectacular winner that skewed the average. This is why you must be extremely cautious whenever you hear about average returns without more context. You should always ask more questions. What was the median return, which is the number right in the middle of the data set and is much less affected by outliers? What was the range of returns from the best to the worst? How many of the investments actually made money versus lost money? This is another area where simple, broad market index funds have a huge advantage. When you own an index fund, you are not relying on the average. You are guaranteed to capture the actual weighted return of the entire market. You will own both the big winners and the losers, and your return will be a true reflection of the market's overall performance, not a statistical illusion. Be a critical thinker when it comes to financial data. Don't let a single, seductive number like an average cloud your judgment. Always question the data and try to understand the full picture. Averages can tell you a story, but sometimes that story is a work of fiction. Rule 21, only trust chefs who eat their own cooking. The financial world is full of experts who are eager to give you advice. You have financial advisors, insurance agents, stockbrokers, and a constant stream of gurus on the internet, all telling you what you should do with your money. When you are faced with this flood of advice, you need a simple, powerful filter to determine who you can trust. That filter is a simple question. Do you personally have your own money in this? This is often referred to as making sure the chef eats his own cooking. You would be very suspicious of a chef who prepares a beautiful meal for you but refuses to take a single bite himself. The same skepticism should apply to financial advice. If an advisor is passionately telling you that a certain mutual fund or insurance product is the best thing since sliced bread, but they don't personally invest in it, you should be extremely wary. Why should you put your hard-earned money into something that they, the expert, are not willing to put their own money into? Often, the reason is that their primary motivation is not your financial success. It is their own commission. They are salespeople, and you are their customer. They are paid by their company to sell that company's products, regardless of whether those products are actually in your best interest. Their loyalty is to their employer, not to you. This is a fundamental conflict of interest that plagues much of the financial industry. The best investment opportunities are almost never the ones that are being heavily advertised or sold through a slick brochure. The truly great deals, the ones with the highest potential returns, rarely even make it out of the office. They get consumed internally. For example, when a savvy real estate agent finds an incredible, underpriced property, what is their first instinct? It's not to list it on their website for the general public. If they can, they will buy it for themselves, or they will make sure a close colleague or family member gets the deal. They eat the best cooking themselves. The leftovers are what gets served to the public. So, when you are seeking financial advice, look for fiduciaries. A fiduciary is a professional who is legally and ethically bound to act in your best interest, not their own. They are required to put your interests ahead of their commissions. While this is not a perfect guarantee, it is a much better starting point. And always, always use the Eat Their Own Cooking test. Ask them directly how they personally invest their own money. A good, honest advisor will be transparent about their own strategy and will often invest right alongside their clients in the same low-cost, diversified funds they recommend. Be very careful who you take advice from. Trust actions, not words. Trust the chefs who are confident enough to eat their own creations. Rule 22. Avoid lifestyle creep at all costs. There is a silent killer of wealth that is so subtle and insidious that most people don't even realize it's happening to them until it's too late. It's not a market crash or a bad investment. It's a phenomenon called lifestyle creep, or lifestyle inflation. This is the natural tendency to increase your spending as your income increases. You get a raise at work, and almost immediately, your brain starts thinking of new ways to spend that extra money. You upgrade from a small apartment to a bigger one, you buy a new car, You start eating at fancier restaurants and you take more expensive vacations. On the surface, this seems like a natural and deserved reward for your hard work. But what is actually happening is that you are moving your own financial goalposts further away. Despite earning more money, you are not actually getting any closer to financial freedom because your expenses are rising in lockstep with your income. You are trapped on what is known as the hedonic treadmill, where you have to keep running faster and faster just to stay in the same place. Lifestyle creep is the single biggest reason why you see people with six-figure incomes who are still living paycheck to paycheck and have little to no savings. They are making a lot of money, but they have built a lifestyle that consumes all of it, leaving nothing left for their future self. They have golden handcuffs, trapped in a high-stress job they might not even like, simply to support the expensive lifestyle they have created. The key to building real, lasting wealth is to consciously resist lifestyle creep. This doesn't mean you can never enjoy the fruits of your labor or that you have to live like a monk forever. It simply means that you should make a deliberate plan for any new income you receive before it gets absorbed into your daily spending. The best way to do this is to follow a simple rule. For every raise or bonus you receive, commit to saving and investing at least half of the increase. So, if you get a raise that gives you an extra $500 a month after taxes, you should immediately automate a transfer of at least $250 of that into your investment account. The other $250 you can use to upgrade your lifestyle, guilt-free. This save half strategy creates a beautiful balance. You get to enjoy some immediate reward from your hard work, which keeps you motivated. But you are also ensuring that your savings rate grows along with your income, dramatically accelerating your path to financial independence. You are creating a bigger and bigger gap between what you earn and what you spend, which is the very definition of building wealth. When you get a raise, pretend it was only half as big as it actually was. Live on that smaller increase and invest the rest. This single habit, practiced consistently over a career, will make you wealthier than 99% of your peers. It is the secret weapon against the most common trap that keeps high earners poor. Rule 23. Understand that taxes are your silent partner. When you start investing, it's easy to get excited about the returns you are making. You see your account value go up by 10%, and you think you've made a 10% profit. But there is a silent partner in all of your investment activities that you must never forget. That silent partner is the government, and they will always be there to take their share in the form of taxes. Ignoring the impact of taxes on your investments is a huge mistake that can lead to some very painful surprises and significantly lower your real take-home returns. You don't get to keep everything you earn, and the sooner you understand this, the smarter your investment decisions will be. There are two main types of investment taxes you need to be aware of. The first is capital gains tax, which is a tax on the profit you make when you sell an investment for more than you paid for it. The tax rate you pay on these gains depends on how long you held the investment. If you hold it for less than a year, it's considered a short-term capital gain and is taxed at your ordinary income tax rate, which is very high. If you hold it for more than a year, it's a long-term capital gain and is taxed at a much lower, more favorable rate. This is one of the biggest reasons why long-term buy and hold investing is so much more powerful than short-term trading. The second type of tax is on dividends. Many stocks and funds pay out a portion of their profits to shareholders in the form of dividends, and this income is also taxable each year, even if you reinvest it automatically. So, how can you legally and ethically minimize the tax you pay on your investments? The most powerful tool available to the average investor is to use tax-advantaged retirement accounts. These are special accounts, like a 401k at work or an individual retirement account, IRA, that are designed by the government to encourage you to save for retirement. They offer incredible tax breaks. In a traditional 401k or IRA, your contributions are tax-deductible, meaning they lower your taxable income today, and your investments grow tax-deferred, meaning you don't pay any capital gains or dividend taxes year after year. You only pay income tax when you withdraw the money in retirement. In a Roth 401k or Roth IRA, you contribute with after-tax money, so you don't get a tax break today. But then, your investments grow completely 100% tax-free, and all of your withdrawals in retirement are also 100% tax-free. For most young people, the Roth option is one of the greatest gifts the tax code offers. Maximizing your contributions to these tax-advantaged accounts should be your absolute first priority, long before you invest in a regular, taxable brokerage account. By using these accounts, you are effectively shielding your investments from the drag of annual taxes, allowing them to compound much faster over time. It is the single biggest and easiest way to increase your long-term returns. Don't ignore your silent partner. Understand the tax implications of your decisions and use the tools the government gives you to keep more of your own money. Rule 24. Learn to love being boring. Our culture glorifies excitement, risk, and overnight success. We are bombarded with stories of people who made a fortune by taking a huge gamble on a single, brilliant idea. This makes the slow, patient, and disciplined path to wealth seem incredibly boring and unappealing. But the truth is that for the vast majority of people, the secret to building lasting wealth is to learn to love being boring. The most effective investment strategies are often the least exciting ones. A strategy of automatically investing in a diversified, low-cost index fund every single month for 40 years is mind-numbingly boring. There is no thrilling story to tell your friends about it. You are not trying to outsmart the market or find the next hidden gem. You are just a machine, consistently executing a simple, proven plan. Compare this to the exciting world of day trading, picking speculative stocks, or gambling on the latest cryptocurrency. This world is full of drama, big wins, and even bigger losses. It gives you a constant adrenaline rush and a great story to tell, but for most people, it is a fantastic way to destroy your capital. True wealth is not built in a day or a month of frantic activity. It is the quiet result of years and decades of good habits. It's the result of consistently spending less than you earn. It's the result of patiently letting your investments compound even when the market is scary. It's the result of saying no to get-rich-quick schemes and sticking to a plan that you know works. This requires a fundamental shift in your mindset. You need to stop seeking entertainment from your investments. Your investments are not a casino or a video game. They are a tool for building a better future for you and your family. If you want excitement, go skydiving or ride a roller coaster. Keep your investment portfolio as dull as possible. The psychologist and economist Daniel Kahneman, who won a Nobel Prize for his work on decision-making, once said that investors' biggest mistake is that they are constantly monitoring their portfolios and reacting to small changes. He advised that the best strategy is to make a good plan and then don't open the envelope for a very long time. Embrace the power of boring. Find joy in the consistency of your savings plan, not in the volatility of the market. Celebrate the fact that your automatic investment was made this month, just like it was last month. The more boring you can make your financial life, the more exciting your actual life will become because you will be building the financial freedom to do what you truly love. Let your life be exciting and your investments be boring. That is the secret to long-term success. Rule 25. Your health is your greatest asset. In our relentless pursuit of wealth, it is easy to forget about the one asset that underpins everything else. That asset is your health. All the money in the world is completely and utterly useless if you do not have the physical and mental health to enjoy it. We often make the tragic mistake of sacrificing our health in our youth to gain wealth, only to spend all of that wealth in our old age trying to buy back our health. This is a terrible trade. From a purely financial perspective, neglecting your health is one of the most expensive mistakes you can possibly make. The #1 cause of personal bankruptcy in the United States is medical bills. A single major health crisis can wipe out decades of diligent saving and investing in the blink of an eye. Your ability to earn an income, which is your most powerful wealth-building tool, is directly tied to your health. If you are constantly sick, tired, and burned out, you cannot perform at your best at work, you cannot pursue side hustles, and you cannot have the energy to manage your finances effectively. Investing in your health is not a cost. It is an investment with an incredible return. This means investing in good nutrition, not just cheap processed food. It means investing the time to get regular exercise, which is proven to boost your energy, your mood, and your cognitive function. It means investing in getting enough sleep, which is critical for decision-making and long-term health. And it means investing in your mental health, whether that's through meditation, hobbies, or seeking professional help when you need it. These are not luxury items to be considered only after you are rich. They are the foundational activities that will enable you to become rich in the first place. Think of it this way: you would never run a high-performance car on cheap, low-quality fuel and never take it in for maintenance. You know that it would break down and end up costing you a fortune in repairs. Your body and your mind are your own personal high-performance vehicles, and they require high-quality fuel and regular maintenance to function optimally. The small daily investments you make in your health will pay massive dividends for the rest of your life, both in your quality of life and in your bank account. You will have more energy, be more productive, and dramatically reduce your risk of facing catastrophic medical expenses down the road. Don't be the person who reaches their financial goals only to realize they are too sick to enjoy them. Wealth is about so much more than a number in an account. It's about having the freedom, the time, and the vitality to live a full and meaningful life. Protect and nurture your greatest asset, because without your health, nothing else matters. These are the 25 laws that can take you from where you are today to a future of financial security and freedom. If even one of these rules helped you see your money in a new way, do us a small favor and hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel more than you know, and it ensures you won't miss our next video. Thanks for watching!